host, my Uncle Rodrigo.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Boy, this is an exciting time at Possum Lodge this week because tonight is Men's Night on the Mountain.
Has anybody told the mountain?
Now, don't listen to him. I'll tell you, this is a fantastic time. This is a time to kind of cut loose. We forget about our responsibilities and all our cares, and we go right up the mountain. Real old tradition in this area. Dates way back hundreds of years ago when in the spring, you know, men would go up on top there and they'd watch out over the rivers to make sure that there was no flooding, you know, from the spring runoff and so on. I mean, and there's also, I gotta be honest, there's a male bonding side to it. It's an awful lot of fun. It's just men up on the mountain looking out over a raging river.
Why? So it's like just a bunch of you guys sitting up on Rock Reef Point staring down at Mercury Creek? Not a real mountain, not a real river, not real men.
Well, all right, Harold, if it's not real men, I guess you'll be able to come.
Really? Yeah, really? I could go? Yeah? Oh, okay, well, you know, okay. All right, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my usual disdain for your, you know, destructive testosterone-induced craziness seems to be overridden by my incredible desire to be accepted by the group.
Maybe you are a real man. Some new stuff to show you. Garth Harble, Animal Control, new guy at the lodge. I'm gonna make something out of a shopping cart. We got a new game called 2 on a Match I think you're gonna enjoy. And don't forget, it's Men's Night on the Mountain. Well, I tell you, Men's Night on the Mountain was a huge success as usual. A little hard on the back, but I'm not as young as I used to be. Just had the one incident, really. Harold unfortunately fell off the cliff wearing my backpack. Well, I was afraid there was going to be some serious injuries there. We were laughing that hard, you know. Well, did you have a good time there, young fella?
No! Oh, the worst time of my life!
Oh, come on, Harold. Doesn't get any better than this. Hey, this is our one night to go crazy there.
Crazy?
Yeah.
It was boring.
Boring?
Boring, boring, boring.
What are you talking about?
We got about 12 feet up the hill, and everybody else is too tired to go any further. Professor Hatfield had to go home and get his medication. No one else could get the fire lit.
Oh, spring runoff, Harold.
Spring runoff, yeah, spring runoff.
Everything's wet.
Yeah, everything's not wet. It was just so boring. It was incredibly terrible out there. Everybody's complaining all the time. Oh, it's too dark. It's too damp. Oh, I got a soaker. Come on. Moose Thompson was asking everybody if they brought an extra sweater. It was boring. It was incredible. No dirty jokes, no scary stories. Just a bunch of middle-aged fat guys sitting around a dead fire on hemorrhoid cushions. I'm sorry, Uncle Red, but you always say, tell me what's on your mind.
No, I don't. I say, tell me what's wrong with your mind. Look out below. Bill's practicing for a new event for our Men's Night on the Mountain. Cliff diving. He's just getting warmed up. You okay, Bill?
Okie dokie, this is the big one. For a free wash and hot wax at Larry's Barber Shop. Uncle Red, you have 30 seconds to get Mr. Humphrey to say this word. 30 seconds and go.
All right, aware.
Sober.
Touchy.
Philly.
Touchy-feely.
Richard Simmons.
Compared to you, your wife is more...
Overweight.
Emotionally, she's more...
Weepy. Weepy. She's weepy.
No. I'm saying she notices things more because she's...
Picky.
You're almost out of time, Uncle Red.
All right, Dalton. You would never say to your wife that she's picky, overweight, or weepy because...
Castration.
Dalton, the vertical hold on your television set...
Sensitive.
Oh, Oh, Duffy's joints were loose and loud. You'd swear they all were breaking. He'd twist his knuckles and crack his knees. He sounded like a popcorn maker. He'd snap his back and ripple his spine, do it all with a big stupid grin. Then he slipped and fell 300 feet under a rock. And that was the last crack we heard from him.
Garth Horrible here, Animal Control, with a tip on how to deal with a common household pest. Speaking of which, come on in here, Red.
Very funny, very funny. Oh, Garth, you got no serious injury today. Slow week, huh?
Well, see, Red, I've taken sick leave.
Oh.
Yeah. After that spider bite, I started falling down all over the place, and I managed to flatten a little parakeet. When the boss found out, he sent me home for a week. Poor little parakeet.
Yeah. You have a tip for us at all?
Huh?
You have a tip for us at all today, Garth?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Red,
Yeah.
do you know what a vole is?
A vole? Yes, I do. It's like a little mouse, I believe.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
Except that the vole hides under your lawn. And don't you know, he eats the roots of your grass and your plants.
Oh, yeah.
So what I've done, I've located the two entrances into the vole's tunnel. And I shove a paper bag into the first hole.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
And into this second hole, I've got this plastic tubing.
Sure, yeah.
Now, what do you suppose I do next?
Well, I would think you'd pump in the methane at this point.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that, Red.
Oh.
No! I don't do that.
All right.
No, I'm going to blow very hard into this plastic tubing, so hard that the vole is going to pop out the other side into that plastic bag. Isn't that great?
Well, no, that is great. That is great.
All right, now, you run over there, and when the vole comes out, why, you snatch it. Snatch that vole.
Hey, this is fun. Vole snatching could really catch on up at the launch.
Really?
Well, maybe. All right, blow away there, Garth.
All right, we'll give her a blast.
All right. No. You must have it, Garth. What? Oh. This is fun.
Oh, boy. Another super day.
What Harold doesn't understand about men's night on the mountain is that you get to a certain age where you're just not prepared to give up the creature comforts. So I thought I would take this week's Handyman Corner and show you how you can satisfy man's two basic fundamental needs. Number one, a comfy chair to sit on, and number two, junk food. So go on out to your grocery store and pick up your favorite snacks. Just like this. Oh, yeah, and make sure you bring the cart with you, too. Don't worry about taking it with you. The store doesn't mind. They factor the cost of the cart into... Whoa, come back here. It's into the price of their groceries. Besides, if they... Oh, gosh. Floors are a little uneven at the launch here. Besides, if they fill the cart up with groceries, surely they don't expect you to carry the whole thing home. All right. All right, now step two, we want to cut down the sides of the front here so we can fold that thing down and just grab a saw here and get at that. There we go. That's the comfort aspect taken care of. Now we can start taking a look at safety. You know, we got this... Whoa. Got this big hole in the ozone for people that everything good in life has to be sprayed out of a can. So now we got to worry about that. And I got this window here, which I'm going to mount on top of the unit. Got a blind on there, so it now becomes a variable angle UV deflector. I've got a screen on here to keep the bugs out. So I'll just mount this whole rig on here with these 2x2s. Oh, yeah. Your snacks hung on there. Now, of course, you fold these things up, you know, for traveling, but when you arrive where you want to be, you just swing them open and get comfortable. Not that easy to do. There you are, huh? Sitting pretty with all of life's treasures right here at your fingertips. You get a little bit thirsty, you say? Well, hook up one of these plastic hoses to a bottle that's above your head, and it's even a gravity feed. When people say you suck, you can prove otherwise. So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Uh-oh. Oh, well, I'll have something to eat while I'm waiting for the ambulance. If you're looking for reasons not to go bungee jumping, stay tuned for Buzz Sherwood. Well, our night on the mountain got us all thinking, and I hate to admit that Harold's right, but it is possible that we have lost our manhood, maybe through marriage or some other accident in the workplace.
Well, you don't need foolish stunts to prove you're a man. Just act responsibly towards fellow human beings.
Get serious, Harold. So now we're going to do something really manly.
By manly, do you mean being good fathers, good husbands, being good providers?
Where do you get this stuff, anyway? No, we were thinking of maybe going whitewater rafting on Mercury Creek. The problem there is that the whitewater is actually chemical foam, you know. And you really don't want to be out in the middle of Dead Man's Whirlpool and have the river eat the rubber right off your pontoons.
You know, Gandhi was a great man, and so was Albert Schweitzer. They didn't need foolish stunts to prove they were men.
No, but they weren't lodge members, Harold. All right? So we decided to go cliff diving off a rock reef point. I got the application form right here. Really only 2 rules. Number 1, you got to promise to go right off the top. And number 2, you got to do your best to try and hit the water. Want me to sign you up there, Harold?
No, I don't think so. No, never, no.
Good, good. That proves it's for men only.
Proves it's for men like you only.
We're a dying breed, Harold.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
Garth Artle here, Animal Control. Reminding you that wild animals can smell fear. Of course, if it smells bad enough, why, they won't eat you. Hey, I'm alive.
You're gonna pay for this until the moon passes China.
Oh, boy. She comes home from work stressed to tears and blubbers out the 5 words that no man understands. I just want to be held.
Just because they were coming to the end of the break between Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, you tried to substitute a hug for a held.
No. A little 5-second hug. Don't you know that 15 seconds is the absolute minimum for I just want to be held?
That extra 10 seconds is going to be the difference between the couch and the garage.
Oh, yeah, forget all about the bed. Oh, yeah, and you know what? You could have held her for 15 seconds if you'd have just used your head. All you had to do is tilt her a little bit to the side, and then you could have seen Jeopardy right over her shoulder.
You could have watched the whole half hour, but you weren't thinking, were you?
No. So now it's time for a quick fix. And the best thing is to claim that you feel a little something coming on and you didn't want to pass the bug on to her.
Or if you think you're up to the acting challenge, you can jump back with a startled look on your face and say, "Have you lost weight?" All right, now, whatever you do in the great outdoors, always remember safety first. Right, Buzz?
Oh, you got that right, Red. You know, just because you saw somebody on TV doing something like, say, bungee jumping, doesn't mean you can just go out and do it yourself.
Now, Buzz, tell the viewers at home, what do you think the professional bungee jumper would do first?
Well, I bet the first thing they do is they go out and find something really stable for jumping off of.
Oh, yeah, like maybe that giant pine tree there?
Well, you know, in hindsight, you'd think that, Red, but, you know, I found out that giant pines aren't that great for bungee jumping off of.
All right, that's good. And what about power lines? I guess you make sure there's none of them around. Huh?
Oh, for sure. You know, I honestly thought I could clear those ones, but me and Gravity, we never did get along. Oh, and don't go making your bungee cord out of stuff around the house. You know,
right.
Don't go using old suspenders or spandex bike pants or elastics or, what else did I use, Red?
Well, I see pantyhose, polo pajamas, and a bunch of jock straps.
Right. Yeah, don't go using any of those.
No, so maybe what we should say is, if you want to go bungee jumping, go where they have bungee jumping, right? Where they have the right equipment and professional supervision.
Yeah. Well, we'll say that now.
Yeah. Always remember, safety first.
Oh, safety first.
Yeah, safety first.
So you cut me down now, Red?
Have they turned the power off yet? No.
You know, I just thought they were telephone wires. I'm thinking, how much electricity's in a telephone wire?
So, Uncle Red, how many people have signed up for the cliff diving contest?